That is going to take us right into crowdfunding corner for the week of, and this was supposed to go up on November 29th, but it's going to go up on December 2nd. So sorry for the delay there. But in crowdfunding corner, we go over.
On the bright side, the 36th episode will be much closer after you listen to the 35th.
There you go. You know, there's always
glass half full.
Yeah, love it.
Oh yeah.
Got the what do they say about the clouds? You got the silver lining.
Cloudman,
exactly. Yep. But yeah, we look at games in crowdfunding, so they might be on Kickstarter or Gamefound, or very rarely, but occasionally on places like BackerKit or things like that, whose campaigns are ending in like the next week or two. Can't cover all of them. There are so many games in crowdfunding nowadays, so they're really just games that look cool to me. If there are any games I missed, sorry. Let me know in the comments, because I'd love to look at some that I missed as well. There's just so many. But there are, I think, are 7 maybe cool ones here that I thought looked great. This first one is called Sea Beasts, and it's got a lot of backers, raising a lot of money, over $500,000 and 4,000 backers. This is a cooperative, what do they call that? Boss battler game, where you play as Vikings on your own like Viking ship, and you're trying to, I think, like protect your treasure, your hoard, from these smaller like enemies, and then these like huge sea beasts, hence the name of the game. So you'll have your own player board. You'll be doing a lot of attacking. As you can see on the player boards, there's like, you know, blood droplets, and you're doing damage. I think it says here you'll be using that damage to unleash your blood rage, to conquer the horrors of the deep and prove your legacy. I am not like a huge dungeon crawler fan. Never played one that I've loved, but this one looks kind of cool. I like the like kind of Viking on the open like sea vibe, because that is like a terrifying thing to me. Scary. The ocean is a terrible place that humans shouldn't go, in my opinion. But I'm glad there are braver people that do. I
agree.
But cool ideas. You got like the cool wooden Viking meeples, and then the big, huge beast minis. Kind of looks like it has a fun system where you're controlling your like cargo on your ship as well. And yeah, I like the art style, like the crazy creatures. If you really wanted to get into like the miniatures and stuff, you can buy like the uber expensive version that has crazy big pieces for all of those big bosses. The base game comes meant to be played solo or as 2-player cooperative. And it's actually not a terrible price, $50. Has some cool dice. And I think that base set, if I remember correctly, I don't know if it even has any minis in it. Does it? Let's look here. It has meeples, beast tokens. Yeah, it doesn't have minis, it doesn't look like. So only the more expensive tiers have the big minis, but I'm sure it has tokens for those beasts. Yeah, you can see them here. And then you can get some other expansions that will add the ability to play with 3, 4, 5, or 6 players, even extra characters, extra beasts, extra stuff. And then you can get the miniatures as well in some of the pledges. I do want to at least show you what some of those look like, because they do look very cool. So where is pledge levels, maybe? No, I feel like that's where, oh, here we go. So you've got the basic pledge. It does have cool dice. Yeah, cool stuff. Here's the heroic pledge. Those are some really cool looking minis, and they're very big. Cool trays, cool dice. So if that is your thing, you like boss battler games, I think this one might be a hit for you. So that is Sea Beasts. It ends pretty soon, actually. This one ends in 3 days on Thursday, December 5th. Here on Kickstarter. Next up is well, I think is a really unique looking game. One called Tatsumi by Adams Apple Games. In this one, you play as like this dragon and you move along kind of this board, and it's kind of a, what do they call that? My mind is totally blanking on the type of abstract, sorry, there it was, game, in that you're moving around this board. You can't go through the other players' dragons. You're kind of moving around each other. Dragons are big, they said, so you can't like move through each other. And you're collecting these rings on this board. Cool thing about the board is transparent. So you can see the different levels of rings. So you know, like, okay, if he takes that, then there's going to be a red there next up. And you're trying to collect these different rings, and then you take them back to your own player board, and you're trying to like build them out in big groupings to get lots of points. You can play as one of, I think, 4, and there might be a 5th or 6th that get unlocked through stretch goals. Different dragons that have like their own goal, and you can play with the symmetric or the back asymmetric side of the player boards, where each player kind of has slightly different goals and restrictions on what like rings they can put there. Very cool. I like it when a game has something unique, and that transparent kind of box insert that houses the entire game and makes the setup really easy, because that's also how you put it away. You just
amazing.
They say it actually helps with randomizing the next time you play. If after you're done, you just kind of randomly throw all the discs back in.
What a cool system. Yeah.
Very cool. So I thought that was worth shouting out. I want to finish reading the rulebook just to see if I think the gameplay has enough legs. But I think it's a very cool and unique starting point. They have 2 pledges. The base pledge is $40. The shipping in America, I think, was $7, which is really not bad for a crowdfunding campaign. That version, the dragons aren't screen printed on. They're still wooden and like big chunky pieces. And then the extra tokens in that version are cardboard. Whereas in the $55 version, which would be $62 with shipping in America, are screen printed on the dragons and the rings, which does look cool. But I'm like, is it worth $15 more? But then the other perk is that, whereas in the box here, these pieces that are like different seashell scales, sand dollars, these are wooden pieces in the limited edition, whereas they're cardboard in the lesser version. So I think it's cool they have both. $40 plus $7 for shipping. That's not a bad price for a pretty unique looking game. So that is Tatsumi. That one's on Gamefound. I think it was made by the same people that did, brought to you by the creators of Planet Unknown, which was uber popular a couple of years ago. So they've got some game development prowess as well. This one ends on, what do you say here? On the 6th. So that should be Friday. That is Tatsumi. Next up is a much smaller looking indie one called Runes. Also kind of an abstract feeling game, in my opinion, but I think it looks pretty cool. In this one, you're going to have these tokens that are these hexagon-shaped pieces, and they have different runes around the 6 sides of those tiles, and you're trying to set them out to match with the tiles next to them. And the more, when you place a tile down, for each rune that matches up, you get to put that number of your discs in the center, those like blue and green and red transparent discs there in the middle. And I think it's the first player that gets rid of all of their discs wins. And so you're trying to set up a ton of connections in order to have big turns where you can do that. If you I can't remember exactly how, but there are some cards you can get that will let you adjust some things. And you can even, I think, force a different player to take their, what are those called? Little discs back. If you place a tile on top of a tile that's already been put down, but you can only do that if the tile that you place has more connections than the tile that was there.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I was thinking I would have this perfect tile and someone would take the spot I was going to play.
Right.
But if you can put it on top, that's interesting.
Yeah, and then you make them take their 3 tokens back or whatever. I think that is the coolest part of the game, because without that being able to like stack on top, it seemed a little basic.
And I like the idea of cards, because I imagine if you have a hexagon that has a ton of matches, but maybe 1 or 2 things is off, maybe the cards allow you to make those correct in some way. Or are the cards giving you a benefit? Are they changing like a symbol for you?
Okay, yeah, let's see. If you place a golden rune, then you get to put out double the coins that turn. If you place a black rune, you get to draw a powerful ritual card. And it looks like they'll let you place additional coins or skip somebody's turn, maybe. A little hard to see with this animated GIF. Exchange hand. So they'll do like some special kind of game-breaking stuff, it looks like. So I don't know. I thought that when I was first looking at it, I was like, it seems a little basic, but I really like the idea of being able to go on top and giving, and that it's just a race. Who can get rid of all their discs first?
Yeah.
Because in an abstract game like this, sometimes there will be like, you keep track of points. Like, okay, I placed this here and I got 5 points, and you got to move the 5 points. Now my next turn, I placed this here and I got 6 points. I need to move 6 more. And I like that there's no points to keep track of. It's just the discs are kind of the points, and you're trying to get rid of all of your discs. So cool little indie game. I think it sounds pretty fun, to be honest. So I'm definitely looking into that one. Wanted to give it a shout out. I like showcasing games from smaller teams here. I think this might be their first. Yeah, this was our first created. Clemens von Bank. They're a young and independent game publisher from southern Germany. Because they're in Germany, I didn't look at shipping. I guess we should look here. Yeah, shipping is a little expensive to America, but anyways, very unique and cool looking game. Wait, what is this? Runes Bundle. You can get shipping a little bit less expensive if what? Where's the bundle? Do you have to get like 2 games or something? Which I don't think that's a... We're offering the best price and special shipping offer for the bundle. Maybe there must be like a different pledge that has the bundle. Oh, you could fly to Germany and do local pickup, Devin.
Oh, perfect.
There you go. Let's see. So about $40 for a copy of the game. Or you can get the bundle, which is, 2 copies of the game. And with the 2 copies of the game, you get a discount on shipping. So if you have a friend that also wants it, then you can get the games a little bit cheaper, and each split half of the shipping or something. So cool idea. They know it's not cheap to ship things worldwide, so I like that they did that. That's Runes, the game. Looks pretty cool. That one ends on next Sunday, December 8th. Okay, this one is one of the biggest ones right now. It's Avalon, the Riven Veil, which is a big name. Very cool looking game, though. If, again, you like games with miniatures and you like games that are like dudes on a map and I'm fighting you, kind of area majority with lots of combat, this one has 5,000 backers and almost $800,000 backed. This company released Oathsworn a couple of years ago, and that game was uber popular. So I think people are kind of hyped by this one as well because of the kind of the success and how good Oathsworn was. Has a very cool look. It's like King Arthur, but much more like fantasy. Like, I think that these characters like go into like the underworld and stuff at times as well. But basically there are 4 different factions. Let me see if I can find them here. You've got Guinevere and the Knights of the Round. This faction has these cool pieces here. Again, very big mini there for that piece with the cool flag. Mordred and the Undead. Cool looking pieces. Really like them. Merlin and the Druids. And Balor and the, what would you call that? Fomorians? Very cool. And you'll be moving around this map, discovering new areas, and these tiles will like flip over to form the map. Then you'll be doing a lot of fighting. Everything in this game is done with cards. And during, I think, the different phases of the game, you'll be, I like it when games use this mechanism. I have one called Mission Red Planet that uses this that I really like. You'll put a card face down, and once everyone has put one face down, then you'll reveal them all at the same time. And whoever played the card with the highest initiative value gets to go first. But then I think they have to pay for that card with some other cards from their hand that match that initiative value. So you have to like kind of pay to go first and do stuff. Cool system, because again, you're kind of playing the other people. Like if I know, oh, I think he really wants to go first, I'm going to try and get in his head to make him think I'm going to do a high bid. Then he'll do a really high bid, and I'll just do a super low one, and just kind of burn some extra of his resources. But cool idea. And then the combat, I think, is also resolved with those cards as well. This one's gotten a lot of buzz. Like I said, very big pieces. Let's look at the different pledge levels really quick. They kind of have a lot going on here. Where are they? Pledge levels. So you've got the base game, $59.99, which does come with 5 miniatures in the base game. I'm guessing they're mostly like the leaders of each of those factions, and then the rest of the characters are cardboard standees. Everything else looks pretty cool. Then for $40 more at $100, you've got every character, I think, is miniatures. I don't see any standees there. Yeah. So that adds basically the miniatures box, which I think is the second box here. And then you can get more. There's like a lore journal, hollow foil, and gold stamped boards. That was kind of that cool shimmer that was showing up above on all of the boards and box at $150. And then this last one also adds the iron forged box, which gives you every resource in the game and like nice metal pieces. There's also a big metal holy grail, which is, I think, like the main thing that the factions are trying to fight to find. So you can bling this game out as much as you want, but I do appreciate that even in the base one, which, you know, it's not the cheapest base game, but at $60, it's not the most expensive base game either. There are still 5 big miniatures in it. You don't have miniatures for everything, but it's probably okay. So that is Avalon, the Riven Veil. There's a lot more about this game as far as like the lore and everything that you can find out here on the page. There are also, I think, some like stretch goals and other stuff. Yeah, lots of stuff here. I want to just look at shipping. Again, big box, lots of pieces. Sometimes they might be shipping you 2 boxes if you're getting the minis and the game. So shipping here is another thing to take into consideration, much like most Kickstarter campaigns. That is, what do we call it? Avalon, the Riven Veil. It's on Kickstarter until Tuesday, December 10th. Okay, next up is Revenant from Mindclash Games. Mindclash does really big, like complex games usually. Devin, kind of their most recent game was a much smaller one for them because they do bigger, more complex games. It's what's it called? We played it and we ended up playing one of the rules wrong. It was this one. What's it called? Ironwood.
Oh yes.
That one's, again, really cool pieces with like the metal pieces and the wood pieces. Cool board, very unique world. This one is a kind of worker placement game where you are trying to evacuate a bunch of people before this like alien clan or whatever destroys this planet and all of these people. So you're filling these cool big ships up with workers trying to fight back the aliens. And then at some point, you're going to put enough resources into this Revenant, the main ship, that it will launch. So you're in that way, you're a little bit working together, but but this is like whoever gets the most points wins. It's a competitive game. Here are some of their other games. You can see Anachrony is probably their most famous. It's in the top 50 games of all time. Voidfall is one of their later or more recent ones. This game, Revenant, is actually in the same like narrative universe as Voidfall. So these Voidfall alien creatures are that were used in that game are actually what are coming here to this planet. And so it's kind of just a different game in the same universe. So if you like worker placement, 1.5 to 2 hour games, complexity level at about 3.5, which is kind of the sweet spot that David likes, to be honest. Right around 3.
What do you think I like? 2.5?
Yeah, I bet you're a little bit lower. You like a bit of like combo goodness in your cards, though. So I think you're slowly starting to eke up as well.
I'm getting somewhere.
Yeah. But cool pieces here where you're like putting damage and like workers and leaders on these cool ship pieces. Again, I don't think every version of this game gets the cool plastic miniature ships. This game is pretty hot as well. Mind Clash is a well-known game name, in the board game space, especially in pretty complex Euro games. So let's see real quick comparison of editions here. They have a retail edition. Oh, sorry, that when the game eventually comes to retail, they think it will cost 65 euros, and it will come with the core components, dual layered ships, and any unlocked gameplay content. Then the 2 versions you can buy here on the Kickstarter campaign are the Captain Edition for 80 euros and the Admiral Edition for 120. So you can see Captain Edition even gets you quite a bit more than just the base. Retail version will get you an insert, corruption miniatures, crew miniatures. But then if you want like the big Revenant ship miniature and the other stuff, Voidborn ship miniatures, then you're gonna have to get the more expensive one. So a couple different versions based on if you want those ship minis or if you're okay with cardboard ships. I want to see what they look like. Are they double layered in the Captain Edition? Where is the there's the comparison, but I want to see what they look like in the Captain Edition. Is that not on here? What's in the box? Oh, here we go. Captain Edition. Yeah, they are double layered. So the Revenant ship here, you can see there are still recessed spots for those workers to go. But that does look a little less cool than the big like plastic ship,
Yeah.
So anyways, I do appreciate that companies offer both options. I'm more and more, I want the cheaper version of a game. Even though it does look cooler, I'm like, okay, if the gameplay is the same from one version to the next, I can get past the fact that this is a cardboard piece compared to a plastic one, usually, unless there is like some really specific reason. And I think that these are double layered kind of helps there. So that's probably the version I would look at. But
that's easier to do in video games. I choose lower quality graphics, but it gives me a reward for doing so. Higher frame rates,
yeah,
more response.
The reward here is less money spent.
But yes, man, that is true. Yeah, look at that.
Cool pieces, though.
You could paint that.
You could if you were like more artistic and creative than me. And yeah, I mean those do look cool. Maybe I take it all back. Maybe get the ultra crazy one, because that is cool looking. Anyways, that is Revenant. The next game from Mind Clash Games. And that one is on Kickstarter until, as he scrolls back to the top, also Sunday, I think. Nope, not. Tuesday, December 10th. And then, is this the last one, Devin?
2 more.
Oh, 2 more. Okay. Another indie small one that I wanted to give a shout out to. This next one.
Come over.
the link didn't like us. It's called Dragonlings. and it is a card game about kind of growing up dragons from their little dragonling state. I can't say that. Dragonling stage into bigger dragons. So, this game is for 1 to 6 players, ages 7 plus. It's a fairly simple game to play. I was kind of surprised by the playtime, though. It's 45 to 90 minutes. That's a little bit of a range. But in this game, you're going to be playing cards down into these, what they call a tower or a stack, basically, of dragon cards. So you have a hatchling or a level 1 dragon of different colors that have like different abilities. Very kind of cutesy dragon artwork. And then you'll be playing higher level dragons on top of those later. So like a level 2 and a level 3 and a level 4 up to a level 5, I think. On a turn, you can either grow a dragon to the next level if you have a dragon that matches the next value up and the same color. And some cards will have like 2 colors, like this is a blue-red dragon, so it could go on the blue or the red tower. Or instead of growing that turn, you can use that dragon's ability and you kind of tip it or tap the card to show that you use the ability and then you can't grow that dragon that turn. And that might let you draw some or get some more eggs or whatever. And so you're building out these like upgrading levels of dragons, but you have to determine on what turns you're going to upgrade them and what turns you're going to tap all of them to like use as many fancy abilities as you can. Pretty simple, minimalistic art style, but I think that card play seems pretty fun. When a card comes out, you can see you play it face down. Basically, that just means it's tapped on that turn. That dragon has growing pains, is what they say here in the instructions. Basically, you just can't use that ability until the next turn. But and then at the end, after all of the either treasure cards or dragon cards are out, have been drawn, then whoever has the most points wins. Each of your dragons gets the number of points at each level. So a level 5 dragon would get 15 points for the 5, 4, the 3, the 2, and the 1, if I did that math correctly. That's a 5 factorial for you, Devin.
That was amazing.
And yeah, each player also gets like a trainer card that has a different kind of asymmetric goal on it. And I think you can pair that with a different like asymmetric card as well. So there's a bit of variability in this box. It's just a very, very small box. I wonder if they have the box size here with a bunch of cards in it. You can play it solo, in teams, or free for all. Where's the box? Take it. She was holding the box in the video, and I was like, wow, that's a cool size box. It kind of reminds me of the All Play little square boxes, but it looked a little bit deeper than those. I think the game is $19. Not being able to see that box is going to drive me nuts. We're going to click on this video and see if I can find the box. What? I swear. Where did she show the box? We're not
What's
leaving
in the box?
Yeah. We're not leaving until we find this box. So where's the how to play? I think it was in that video. Here we go. Oh yeah, it's right there. You see that little baby box? Kind of like a thick little box. I like the way that box looks for some reason.
I also like that box.
Let's see. Shipping is $5 in America, or $7 for 2 games. I think the game is 19. Yeah, $19. Might be 23 if you're not in the early bird deal, but I don't know. Again, want to give a shout out to an indie game. Kind of reminds me of a game we'll be talking about in our ending segment really quickly called Canopy, which is a 2-player card game where you are also building up trees, and then you put like a cap on the tree, like the canopy of the tree, and the taller your tree can get, you'll get more points. So I like that system. So that is, I've lost the picture here. That is Dragonlings, which has its campaign here on Kickstarter until Wednesday, December 11th. All right, Devin, the last, what is this called? Campaign of the week is called Trickadee. This is a trick-taking card game that I think is unique because you're not always just trying to win the trick. I'm really into trick-taking games lately.
It's also unique that it's 3 to 5 players.
Yeah, a lot of trick-taking games kind of cap at 4.
Well, it's weird that it starts at 3.
Trick-taking is hard to do at 2.
Oh, is it?
A little bit. So that part, at the 3 players, I don't think is too crazy. But going up to 5,
I take it back. To anyone listening, it wasn't weird. It just seemed weird to me.
I think that was a good call out, so I like it. I don't fully understand every rule of this one, but basically, whoever plays or wins the trick gets to choose one of the cards in the trick to add to like their bird collection in front of them. So if you win the trick, that's cool because I get to choose whichever card I want to add. So that is an incentive to win the tricks. But not winning the tricks, there's also different ranges of cards for the 5 different suits. So 1 to 11, 5 to 15, and kind of a varying range there. I like that. Also cool, you can... sorry, I got distracted a little bit from what I was talking about, but we'll come back to it. During the trick, you have to follow one of the lead colors if you can. So the first player plays blue, second player has to play blue if they have blue. Third player doesn't have blue, so they play yellow. Now the fourth player can play blue or yellow, whichever one they want. They're not forced to play the lead color, which is also unique. Let me see. You get points for having like a big flock. And I think I feel like I skipped the section. Whoever got last, didn't win the trick, got last place in the trick, gets these sunflower tokens. I don't think sunflower. Oh, they are sunflowers. Sunflower seed tokens. And you can use them in order to do some special things like move birds around in your flock or swap a bird from your hand with a bird in your flock. So by not winning the tricks, you're getting these sunflower tokens that allow you to have more flexibility with your flock. But by winning the trick, you get the birds that you want. So there's like an incentive to do both, which is
it's like Mario Kart. Fall back, you get a better power.
You get that blue shell.
Yeah.
You get those sunflower seeds.
Blue sunflower seed.
Yeah, exactly. Again, I'm really into trick taking right now. I think that this one seems pretty cool, kind of unique in that genre. So I wanted to give it a shout out again is this a first time campaigner here? They have, he's created 2. So anyways, not his first rodeo, but his second rodeo here. And I think it looks cool. I like the bird art. It's like kind of minimalist, but also looks like professionally done.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I couldn't draw that. It's really well done, but it looks like a professional did it with colored pencils.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. So that is Trickadee. That one ends on Friday, December 13th. So that one's not for a little bit, the end date at least, but you've got a little time to look at those. All right, Devin, those were 7 pretty cool looking games in my opinion. What is going to be Devin's pick of the week?
Oh, shit.
For December 2nd when this video goes live.
I'm torn between 2 right now. The one you have on the screen.
Trickadee looks cool.
Trickadee does look cool. And Tatsumi.
Good pick. I think Tatsumi looks really cool.
Tatsumi looks very interesting. Well, it was the one with the transparent board and the dragons and the rings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was kind of deciding between that and runes. But for some reason, I felt like I wanted to play Tatsumi more than I wanted to play runes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was just because there were dragons there, but...
Yeah, I feel like both of those are very cool picks. And Trickadee as well. But yeah, Tatsumi, man, that transparent board that also is how you store it in the box. Such a cool idea.
Well, and I like how when you're moving around the board, you're basing it off of what's coming next, what other players are doing, and then you have your own player board, it seems like, with your own goal, your grouping, and your dragon has like its own unique win condition almost. Not a
or,
win
like,
condition, but
own different way to score points, probably.
yeah, and I thought that was unique because you're doing multiple things at once.
I agree. I think it looks really cool. This one definitely has my eye. It's uh, one of my picks of the week as well. Tatsumi is
Nah, that was my pick.
pull that list up one more time. I just want to see if I can pick a different one. Then, man, that's tough.
If I wouldn't have picked that, is that what you would have picked?
I think, surprisingly, I think my picks of this week, as is kind of becoming common for the kinds of games I back in crowdfunding, are games that I do not think will come to retail later. Like, if the game's going to come to retail later, then, I mean, this sounds bad, but I can get it for like half off eventually.
And no shipping.
With free shipping.
Well, probably still have to ship it because all your games are unique. They're not just at Target.
That's true, but nowadays, like, Amazon, like, carries almost everything.
Oh, that is true.
So, yeah. like Revenant and Sea Beasts and Avalon look really cool. Man, a $200 game. Avalon, for example, might never come to Amazon. So that is another kind of selling point for crowdfunding. It's like, this is a big, expensive game with lots of minis. It's probably not coming to retail. This is the only way to get it. And that's cool. But the 4 small ones here, Tatsumi, that you just covered, Runes, which is like a very cool looking abstract game, Dragonlings, and Trickadee. All 4 of those games I could see possibly not coming to retail, and then I'm like, okay, this is the only way I can get that game, and then it probably won't exist. Right? And so those are the kinds of games I'm much more likely to back. I'm gonna give it to Trickadee here. I just want to see really quick while we're.
It's a good pick.
I think the artwork's cool. I'm really into trick taking at the moment. Just wanted to see if that swapped. Okay, it did. And I like the idea of a unique trick taking game. I played Aurum recently and really enjoyed that one, where you're not allowed to follow the same suit. And then you're trying to win these cool gold cards that are off on the side. Wow, what a cool twist. And you're also playing in teams. This one, you're not playing in teams, but you don't necessarily want to win every trick so that you can get those flexibility sunflower seeds. Looks really cool. So I think there's quite a few cool ones this week, but Trickadee is going to be David's pick of the week for December 2nd, 2024. Thanks so much for watching Crowdfunding Corner this week, and we will see you next week for another one. Thank you so much for watching this video. As most of you know, gaming top-down is an independent endeavor. I don't accept money from publishers for previews or opinion-related content, but there are a few ways that you can support the channel and help me keep the lights on. Liking this video and subscribing to the channel helps me to grow. If you're thinking of getting a game that I covered in this video, please click the affiliate link in the description of this video. It helps to support me and doesn't add any cost to your purchase. I also do a weekly gaming podcast where I talk about the board games that I'm playing along with my brother. You can check that out on Apple's podcasts and on Spotify. And you can also get that podcast 3 days early over on our Patreon. You can follow the Patreon at patreon.com/supergamebrothers completely for free. But if you do support us over there, you get some extra perks, like being able to write into the show, getting early access to the show, voting on the games that I'm going to cover and review, and lots of other fun stuff. Thanks so much for your support, for liking and commenting on my videos. You really are what helped keep the lights on for me. Thank you.